ครับผมชื่อบุญสองสุนทรธิรวัฒน์เป็นคนจีนมาจากเมืองจีนมา30 ปีแล้วครับอยู่เมืองไทยครับผม
According to our interviewee answer, he said that as earlier when elderly people return from working in Thailand to the village, they will return with a lot of money and they look wealthier. So their relative think that Thailand is more prosperous and developed. Also, it is easier to find a job in Thailand. Furthermore, most of Chinese people are obey of what their parents told them to do. So even though it might not be as they expected, but if they have been told to come to Thailand, they will come. The first theory of Hofstede dimension that related to the answer is masculinity, as Chinese people are hardworking and live to work and acquisition of wealth. Second theory is high uncertainty avoidance, as they have low chance of trying new things. They only follow what their parent or relative told them to do.
The cultural dimension theory is a framework for cross-cultural communication developed by Georg Hofstede. It shows the effects of a society culture on the value of its member and how this value related to the behavior. The Hofstede model of natural culture consists of 6 dimensions. The masculinity side of the dimension represents a preference in society for achievement, heroism, assertiveness, and material reward for success. Society at large is more competitive. Next is the uncertainty avoidance dimensions, expressions the degree to which the member of a society feel uncomfortable with uncertainty and ambiguity.
So he thinks the language is an obstacle, but when the time passed, his Thai getting better and more understanding. So it was easy to communicate as Thai people and Chinese have quite a similar background, which is grounding. Chinese people like to speak loudly, and when he talk with the Thai or give order to employees, they might misunderstand and think that he are angry as he are shouting. Tone of voice is a non-verbal message that is part of communicate. That's why it can be misleading to communicate. Chinese people like to speak loudly, and when he give order to employee might misunderstand and think that they are angry as they are shouting. Besides, it can lead to the negative feeling for each other at work. In each speech or communication, a different tone of voice is used. Each country has different culture, thus making the use of the tone of voice different. Tone of voice is a non-verbal message that is part of communication. That is why it can be misleading to communicate. The tone of voice consists of pitch, volume, speed, tension, variation, enunciation, recession, crispness, and accent. So, in general culture of the most Chinese people, they use high volume when talking or communicating, causing perhaps the Thai people to be misunderstood.
He said young people should be humble and do not be stubborn and do not argue. As when adult provides some food, even if you don't like to eat, you should take it first because it is like good manners. This is a part of Hofstede dimension, which is high power distance. Because younger should respect and follow what adults say, younger should not go off the track. This answer is a part of Hofstede dimension, which is power distance. Power distance is defined as the extent to which the less powerful members of institution and organization within a country expect and accept that power is distributed unequally. Based on the HofstedeInsight.com, Chinese is a high power distance with a score of 80 if compared to Thailand with the score of 64. That is why the interviewee says that younger should respect and follow what adults say.
Okay, for the goal of working, our interviewee say money. He thinks that if we want to be the successful life, we should find more money, which along to the basic questions of Kac-Horn theories of what is the modalities of human activities, and his answer is achieving measurable goals. Moreover, his answer also matched with the motivations theory of Maslow need hierarchies. There are 5 levels in Maslow hierarchy of needs, and our interviewee is based on the safety needs. Money is one of elements that can make our interviewee feel more safe when they are facing with the uncertainty economic situations.
Kac-Horn and Strobeck value orientation theory propose that all human society must answer a limited number of universal problems, that the value-based solutions are limited in number and universally known, but that different cultures have different prevalence. Among them, there are 5 common human problems posed as questions that provide the most useful value orientations in creating a cultural typology were time orientations, activity orientation, relation orientations, person nature orientations, and human nature orientations. In some society, being is the most value orientation. Striving for great things is not necessarily just about spontaneous expression of desire. In other society, becoming is what people should strive to develop oneself into integrate whole. Finally, there are societies that are primarily oriented to doing. In such society, people are likely to think that inactive life is a waste life. People are more likely to express the view that we are here to work hard and that human worth is measured by the sum of accomplishments.
What are the issues of working with Thai people? Our interviewee believes that Thai people are lazy and have low responsibilities. His answer represents the stereotype which is based on his working experience. He believes all characteristics of Thai employees are inactive, but this may not be true for every Thai employees. In the meantime, he describes Chinese are more hardworking and dedicated persons. So from his answer, it is one of the social conditions with our cultural identities that define their own personalities.
A stereotype is a fixed overgeneralized belief about a particular group or class of people. By stereotyping, we infer that a person has a whole range of characteristics and ability that we assume all members of that group have, such as our Chinese interviewee who believes that Thai employees are lazy.
In the old days, most of Chinese women have a responsibility to do a housework and stay home. While men are out for working, it is indirectly represent that women should pay respect to men, as men work harder and they prefer to have their children as boys, so they can be descended from their family. But nowadays, the society has changed. The previous answer was related to Hofstede dimension with its masculinity issue. The masculinity side of this dimension represents a preference in society for achievement, heroism, assertiveness, and material reward for success. Society at large is more competitive. China has a maturity score of 66, while Thailand only scores 34 points. Hence, China is less concerned with gender equality. For the reason they consequently act like that.
He said, I like Thai food but I don't like hot water. That use feet to pointing and get complaint because he doesn't know that Thai people think feet is low stuff and dirty. Also, Thai women shave the armpit and Thai people chew ice.